Hey guys, it's BlackGirlsYouTubeToo, and I come to you with education, college advice, relationship advice, makeup, hair, the whole 9 yards. But today is my first reaction to something that's been going on in the media for a couple of days now. So on Friday, I was watching the Ellen DeGeneres show with my mom, and Kanye West was her special guest that day. I absolutely adore Ellen. I really do. I love her show. I love her. I feel like she's so candid and awkward and quirky. But she really gets like her guests, into the games that they do, into the interview, and she makes it really fun. And even though she has a show every single day, you want to watch again because she's wild. You've probably seen the lemonade skit. But anyway, yeah, on Friday she had Kanye over, and it went differently than I thought. The first half of the interview, she wanted to talk about Kim and Mother's Day and, the big symphony. However, Kanye was self-conscious about talking about that. Now, I was watching and I was like, who is this man? Kanye is self-conscious about something? What? So I was a little disappointed at first. I was waiting for Kanye to do something wild because that's the perception that I have of him, right? Kanye is this man who's known to do unthinkable things at the most random times. That's what I think of him. Keep that in mind. And I'm sure that's what a lot of you all think too. Then she wanted to talk about Northwest and the new baby Saint. And again, he was just giving like one-word answers, not really touching too much on the subject, saying something. I mean, you could tell like he wasn't wholeheartedly in what he was saying. I think he just felt really, really awkward about being there and awkward about talking about his family like that. Maybe he's just a really closed off person. I don't know. I've never seen that side of Kanye. So I was very taken back. Then they went to a commercial break. And when they came back, the Kanye that I know has been restored. So I'm actually going to watch parts of the clips and pause it. I'll put the video that I am watching and discussing in the description bar below, and hopefully you guys can have a conversation with me too about this. Personally, I feel like the world took what Kanye said and didn't understand it, and now they're calling him crazy for it. So let's get started.
But Kim has said that there should be a board of directors that goes through your tweets. Like when you have an idea, you should give it to Kim and a bunch of people, and they go, okay, you can tweet that, or no, you cannot tweet that. Do you think you should have a board of directors?
Before he answers that, Kanye West is not a child. That is a grown man. What does he look like having some people read what he wants to say to the world before he puts it out there? That she's not asking about a public relations specialist, so it's not somebody who is telling him if something is good for his career or not. It's a board of probably like some stiff people telling Kanye if his thoughts are valid or not. Not only is Kanye West an adult, he is an artist, a rapper, and an expressive artist. Who are you to tell somebody else what they can and cannot say? First of all, I believe in the freedom of speech. Obviously, everybody has that. And also, I believe that the only person that should police what you are saying is yourself. I feel like we're all responsible enough to know if what we're saying is appropriate or not. And even if you think that it's appropriate and everybody else thinks that it's not appropriate, that's on you to put it out there in the world. I honestly, when people try to take things back after they said it, I don't believe in that whole, oh, I didn't mean to say what I said. Because at one point in time you did. So I don't even understand why that was a question, but I don't fault you, Helen.
Have you regretted anything that you tweeted? Nope. Nothing? Never? You don't go, maybe I should have thought about that a little longer?
What's the point?
That irked me too. This section just like bothered me. I don't know. Maybe because I'm a creative mind as well, and it just rubbed me the wrong way thinking someone is telling another human being how they can and cannot express themselves. But let's continue on in the interview because this isn't even the juicy part. What's the point of thinking? Kanyeism.
Sometimes. And then you tweeted out that you wanted Mark Zuckerberg to give you $53 million. In hindsight, should that have gone on Facebook?
Yes. I
Yeah.
should have put it on Facebook. Now I understand why he didn't hit me back.
Yeah.
I understand that Zuckerberg doesn't use Twitter.
Yeah.
Even though I have had dinner with him and his wife and told him about how I wanted to help the world, and he said he'd help me, and then
This tea though.
Like, that's how
Can we talk about the tea that Kanye just spilled real quick on the Ellen DeGeneres show? Everybody was so, oh my gosh, Kanye West asked Mark Zuckerberg for a couple $1 million on Twitter. Mark Zuckerberg is the founder of Facebook, blah, 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 blah. He's so stupid. Like, he said so himself. Yeah, that probably should have gone on Facebook instead of Twitter. But his reasoning is still valid. I mean, I don't know if this actually happened, but he says that he and Mark talked about the ideas that Kanye has, and Mark was like one of those yes men going, yes, of course this can happen, of course. And then time flies and Kanye still has no money from said person who possibly agreed to be a sponsor or a donor. So I can understand why he's upset, but I just thought that was really funny because his answer was really passive aggressive and shady. Shout out to you, Kanye.
it's like you're trying to sell this bone density machine or something, you know, in that movie.
This is where Kanye gets a little eccentric and I think he loses people.
I could help more people.
Okay, so basically Kanye is talking about how he thinks that he can help the world through his art, through his music, through his apparel, but he doesn't have the resources to get it out there to everybody. And by resources, I'm assuming he means money, capital, so like factories, labor, all that kind of stuff. Which makes sense. You do, no matter how rich you are, when you have big ideas like he's talking, you need investors. You can't just spend all of your money. You're not going to make it back like that. You have to have some investors and some time. This, like I said, I think that's where Kanye starts to lose people. He talks about the pursuit of happiness, which I don't think people caught. I think people heard him talking about the invention and they were like, what is he saying? And as soon as people get confused, they kind of like light fire to things and all of a sudden they're like, this doesn't make sense. This doesn't make sense. What is he talking about? But all you really have to do is listen. All you really have to do is listen.
Start what everyone's thinking. Start there. Put some dope with it.
I'm gonna start saying that. Put some dope on it. Again, I think he lost people here when he was talking about starting with what everybody in the room is thinking. He was talking about like what your perception of what you think of him, no matter what that is, just like get that out the window. It doesn't matter. Worry about what he is offering the world positively. So let's skip forward. I'm not gonna play the rest of the clip, but I want to talk about when Kanye brings up the greats like Michael Jackson. I believe he calls out Walt Disney, and he says a couple of more names. And I was watching the Today Show earlier, and the two women on there, the two hosts, they were very confused about what Kanye was talking about, and they asked, like, they were saying, is he really comparing himself to being like a Walt Disney, to being like these other greats? But if you listen closely, Kanye clearly says whose name can go in the same breath as these people. He's not saying even he can. He's not saying that. That's a big step. A man who is calling himself Jesus, a man who named his son Saint, a man, he's admitting that, you know, there's not anyone right now who can be put in the same breath with these people. And he says the reason why is because everybody is so concerned about making sure that people like them. Here's a lesson here. Everybody is so concerned about making sure people like them. That's even here on YouTube. Everybody's concerned about their subscribers. Am I making enough money? Are people commenting? Are people watching? Who cares? If YouTube didn't pay you, would you even be on this website? Ask yourself that. And I think that's what Kanye is saying. He does not care if people like him as a person. You don't need to, as long as you respect him as an artist. And that's what those people had that we didn't understand either. Michael Jackson is a perfect example. People try to tear that man to shreds, ignoring all of the philanthropy, ignoring all of the great things that he gave the world. They, whether you think they made something up or not, whatever, and then ran with it. And they're doing the same with him, you know, calling him crazy, calling him a bully about the whole Taylor Swift thing that happened years ago. They are taking a negative image and just trying to perpetuate it. And it's so funny that he's talking about that's what people do. And that is what people are doing about this video. They are sharing and talking about Kanye is crazy. But what's funny is that they are only taking certain parts. And even on the Ellen DeGeneres show, she didn't show this whole thing. This is the uncut extended version. On her show, she kind of made him look eccentric, but eventually it came full circle and what he was saying ended up making sense because of the way that they cut and edited it. But if you listen to the whole thing holistically, even when he gets up and starts quoting song lyrics, like even when he said that he has what is it? Okay, I'm gonna put the word right here because I can't think of what it is. But even when he said he has that, a lot of people who don't study psychology, or I guess just didn't pay attention in high school, don't know that that's an actual thing, and they thought that he was making something up and be weird all over again. First of all, that is a real quote-unquote condition. I think it's a gift when you can see sounds. I think that is amazing. When he makes music, he sees art. And I mean, I believe that to be true because of his Twisted Dark Fantasy album. That visual, like he really put all of his music into one big visual, and it was beautiful. It was amazing. I definitely believe that Kanye can do that, and that's not something that's fake. There are people in this world that have it, and he says that he's one of them. So let me bring this whole argument full circle, just like he had to. Kanye West is not crazy. He's not. I do think that after his mom passed away, there was a switch. But I mean, everybody has that kind of time period where they go through where it's just not the same them anymore. You're upset. I mean, his mom passed away. He probably went through depression, and it does make you act differently. It does make you do things that you wouldn't normally do. So I completely understand all of the things that Kanye's been through. I don't completely understand him calling himself Jesus, but so whatever. I mean, that's how you express yourself. Prince, after a while, changed himself to a symbol when he couldn't use his name anymore. You don't always know the backstory to why people do what they do, and you just kind of have to accept it or talk about them and call them weird, which the world tends to do. It's sad, but that's what happens. Kanye West is not crazy. I just think that the world is not on his mental level. They're not at his capacity of intelligence yet. So that whole argument just went over people's heads. But if you really sit down and listen to the extended uncuts going in my description. Listen to it and come up with your own perception. What do you think Kanye was trying to say? Do you think he got it across the right way? Do you think Kanye was just crazy? Let me know. Make sure you guys head to my shop, pick out a Black Girls YouTube 2 t-shirt at blackgirlsyoutubeToo.bigcartel.com. These glasses right here are from Firmu Optical. Check out their lenses. They have sunglasses I wear. Thank you for coming to the channel.